Vinnie and I knew each other already. We play in another group locally called Honey Bandit, which is more of a rock group. And I personally was looking to expand what I do musically. Vinnie already does a whole bunch. And we kind of decided to move towards a more singer-songwriter, folk kind of vibe, because there's so many places we can't go as a rock band, right? You can't play so many venues because really our band is Honey Bandit's very loud, and is really well suited to like heavy drinking and late nights. Billie is something that we can take into all sorts of different areas, and it's just a more stripped down, versatile configuration of our instruments.
I'd always seen people play a cajon, and they reach down really low on the cajon to get the low end sound. So you can't really do a lot with your arms. And then I saw, drummer engineers are always making up new stuff all the time. It's crazy. So I found a cajon with a kick drum pedal. It has this wire, and it goes into the cajon. It replaces your need to use your right hand as the bass instrument, and so I can go back to using what my four-way independence that I have on the drum kit, and using more of a dynamic stuff to accent her voice and guitar shakers, and then I can also play a hi-hat, and then use my left hand as a snare drum the whole time, and basically just kind of replicate the drum kit sound scaled down, and it won't hurt my body moving it around.
Jessie with an eye, oh sweet Jessie with an eye. Her lips, cinnamon whiskey, her smooth and supple thighs.
We started playing Billie probably like February of 2023, so we have not been playing in this project for a very long time.
My wife Rebecca and my good friend Eric and I are in a jazz trio that's been together about 20 years. The three of us are also in a big funk band called 20 Grand. It's like an 8-piece funk band. It's been around 14 years. And the three of us are also in another band called Hot Damn. It's kind of like a world beat, funky folk kind of thing. And then I play drums in Pedactor Project. I'm like the 12th drummer they've had. It's like these guys from Big Fork. It's kind of like a rock and roll.
I've probably been writing poetry since I was like in middle school. Started writing songs in high school once I learned how to play guitar. And I just really enjoy, just performing. And that's the main thing, how I kind of got into a performance scene here in the Flathead, is I did a spoken word poetry slam for a few years. It's just super cathartic. It's really based more, I think, people have different opinions. I think, though, spoken word's really based in more of telling of a feeling as opposed to something really analytical or cerebral that you might find in other poetry. It's like you don't really get to sit down and analyze it. You just get this short period of time to express a feeling and have the audience feel it back.
My biggest regret in life is not taking the piano lessons my mom tried to make me do. It is, and I'll admit that. But I was also really into sports, and really dedicated myself to being a college athlete. But then that kind of flamed out in the middle of that, and then that's why I started playing drums. And
I'm really fortunate. I come from a musical family. Everybody in my family plays music. Everybody sings. My parents had a band when I was growing up. Like, I can remember lying in my bed. They always practice at our house, and so I wanted to be tucked in, and it was like 10 p.m. and just screaming, like waiting for my parents to come and tuck me in, and like going to their shows when I was growing up, getting kicked out of bars every once in a while when we were little. So, and I learned how to play violin at a pretty young age. That's the main instrument I grew up playing, but stopped doing that and I played just a folk group in high school on acoustic guitar, but didn't really start hitting the music again hard until I moved to the Flathead, at least for playing with other people, getting more involved with an open mic scene. We were just kicking around ideas for what we wanted to call this group. It's nothing too revealing or anything what our name comes from, but Vinnie was kicking around ideas of doing 2 unisex names since we're a male-female group, and I was kicking around doing like the same name twice, use the same word twice, and Billie came about. You could also say it's for our main musical influences, Billy Idol and Billie Holiday. it's not. But
Okay. I was buying
no,
it.
not at all. No.
I was like, interesting.
No,
it doesn't
definitely
sound like
not.
that.
I mean, they're both great musicians, but not maybe where we gather our inspiration.
No.
Right.
That's a good answer.
Now is where the heart hangs, to where it belongs.
And one thing that really sticks out to me as far as what you need to collaborate is recognizing that when you're figuring something out, when you're putting something together, when you're learning a new song, even if it's a cover, you have to be somewhat comfortable with sucking at it and sucking at it in front of other people and other people sucking at it in front of you. And it's really awkward. It can feel really awkward if you don't have, it's not something you're doing consistently, especially. You know, if you've sort of set in on your set list and then all of a sudden you're going to try and bring in some new songs and it's like, oh wait, oh gosh, we're like back in this really just uncomfortable space, vulnerable space. And so I think having some grace for yourself, having some grace for others in collaboration, and also when you're collaborating, it's not always, unless it's like, I am bringing this song, this is a song I have written, this is the music I have written to it, you also have to give people license to play it how they are hearing it, and eventually it'll all come into whatever that finished product may be.